What is happening, BioRave fam? It's your girl Pearl. We are live here every single week talking about random things, things that I feel like will support you, things that I'm navigating, anything to help you become a thriving, holistic, safe human being that's also a bioraver that loves to optimize their well-being and party, dance their booties off. And so I'm going to talk about just what I've been navigating these last few days, this week, my life. But I'm really going to talk about how to go through really challenging times and use tools to support you and some of the mindset shifts that have really supported me during this time. And I know as we evolve, some of you, I've talked to you, you are, navigating tough relationships or leaving toxic partnerships or losing friends or decided to go sober or building your business, getting uncomfortable, or maybe you're feeling lost and trying to figure out your life, right? And I just want you to know that we're all just trying to figure it out. We're all on this journey doing things, get uncomfortable. I feel like there's been a collective shift, honestly. Like so many people I talk to are going through some shit, like deep healing, like things coming up, like awakening to what they've been maybe neglecting, maybe not looking at, maybe not aware of these patterns and things that are really challenging them, right? Hi, Marga. Nice to see you. And so I've been having so many conversations with people around being challenged, around fears coming up, around self-doubt coming up, around tapping into their next level self and what comes up. And I really believe like a lot of us are being called to rise. Let me know if you can agree, Marga, drop in the chat. But a lot of us are being called to rise right now. And a lot of things that we need to work through and things that cannot come with us will need to be shed and let go. And that shedding, that let go process, that emotional healing, the deep shit that we need to do is actually required for our next level. And I've been feeling this immensely ever since I've really stepped in and tapped into BioRave, into the mission, into leveling up, into selling my offers, into being super open and uncomfortable and all these things. This past week, I've never had so much shit come up in my entire life. Like honestly, I at the same time. Like of course I've had things come up here and there and I work through them, but at the same time, let me tell you, everything you could think of is coming up for me. Like all my childhood shit, my mom shit, my dad shit, my sister shit, my friend shit, like my money relationship shit, like I'm like, are you serious, universe? I'm like, really? But I truly believe nothing is a coincidence. The timing is perfect, even though right now I'm like I feel so stretched, right? I'm so in this melting pot of emotions but this is the work that I get to do in order to rise. 'Cause if I'm going to be the person that builds this movement, that has these amazing sober dance party events all over the world, that, has people in my membership, that supports humans, that does all the things I desire to do, the things I'm manifesting, the things on my heart and soul, I need to grow through these experiences to get the skills and to become the person that I'm calling in. And so for any of you that are feeling this, this is part of the process. And sometimes it's going to feel like, what the fuck? I didn't even think I still had to work through this. You're like, whoa, I thought I worked through that already. But new levels give you different things to work through. And we have to kind of revisit the same thing if it hasn't been fully healed yet. It's going to come up again. It's going to come up again. It's going to come up again. Right. And so I have intentionally been putting myself in situations that stretch me and intentionally putting myself in situations that I need to heal. I joined a membership that's all about financial healing and working on your deep, like ancestral wounds around money, because I really want to feel safe with money, right? I'm intentionally putting myself in hard conversations. I just had one this morning because I'm someone that wants to have these conversations and be able to hold them. Oh, hi, Rachel. And so I'm going to ask you, and you don't have to intentionally do this, but if you want to accelerate your process, drop in the chat, like what things can you intentionally do maybe this month, this week, today that are going to make you uncomfortable, yes, but help you work through the things you know you need to work through, right? And so drop in the chat if you want, maybe sit on it, but I'm going to encourage you all to get uncomfortable intentionally. Because one thing that I have experienced in the past, let me know if you can relate, is you'll put things off and off and off until the universe forces you to deal with it. It's like, oh, yeah, you know, you've been neglecting for your finances, for example. So we're gonna make sure eventually you're gonna deal with them, and it's gonna give you a probably not pleasant way to deal with this thing that you know you're neglecting. Nice to see you, Rachel. And so I'm like, okay, I've had enough of these things happen in my life. I'm like, okay, let me be intentional and create this for myself. So I'm creating the opportunities and creating the space to go deep into these wounds, these things I need to heal, to allow myself to work on the process. Yes, Marga, I love that visibility challenge. That is so great. What else? Leading, yep, leading. Ooh, on their comfort zone. Yeah. I've been showing up too a lot, and I've been doing a lot of the deep inner work, having a lot of challenging conversations, being really raw with myself. Every morning, I'm giving myself like an hour to really feel the feels. And I mean, I've been crying every day for like 5 days. I'm like, I'm just gonna feel the feels. I'm just gonna cry it out because there's a lot of things I didn't realize I haven't actually healed. Like I thought I did. And I was like, oh, there's actually a deeper level. Oh, there's actually more. And when you give yourself space to process, to heal, to feel, instead of it coming up, for example, during your workday and it throws you off, or it comes up when you're trying to work on something else and it throws you off. It's like give yourself the space to do these things so it doesn't throw you off kilter, right? Because I've done my emotional work, I can now show up on live. I can now do the things I'm doing today. I can now create the content because I have the space versus me having all these feelings I need to address, but I'm ignoring them. And I know from my experience, maybe you can relate. When I ignore them, they keep coming up and they distract me, and I can't focus on my work because my feelings are not being addressed. It's like you have a kid that needs to be fed, but you're not feeding it and it keeps crying. But you're like, oh no, like I just have to do one more thing. But your kid is crying. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe I should attend to this present issue in my life. And so yes, exactly. You're neglecting part of you. And oftentimes those parts of you is your inner child. Honestly, I've been doing a lot of inner child work and realizing, oh, this is my inner child that feels scared. Oh, it doesn't feel safe. Oh, she feels neglected. Oh, damn, like let me look at that. Right? Sometimes we don't want to do the deep work, but in order to get to the levels you want to be, we need to do the deep work, right? And this is actually going to accelerate your growth. And so some of the tools I'm going to share that have been really supporting me in this process, and these are things I talk about in High Vibe Tribe and things I talk about in my world. First thing is journaling. Journaling has immensely impacted my life. And I don't mean just like journaling, like, oh, this is what I'm grateful for, and oh, this is this. Like, that's great. I do that too. But I mean, I'm feeling like this right now, and this is why. And I feel like this is why it's happening because of this. And oh, I remember when I was younger, I felt really neglected and blah, blah, blah. And really going deep into, okay, I'm feeling this way. I feel sad about this certain situation, but why? But where did this come from? But what's the lesson in here? And the biggest thing for me is extracting lessons from every single feeling. Because I truly believe feelings are a guide. Feelings are just coming up to be like, hey, like, check this out. Hey, look at me. There's a lesson here. So every time I'm feeling, and even the happy feelings, all feelings are lessons. So I've been feeling a lot of lower vibrational feelings like sadness, grief, shame, abandonment, all the things, neglect, resentment towards all the relationships in my life. And I'm like, ooh, let's dive deeper here. What's the lesson here? Right. And so I encourage you all, if you're feeling certain ways, dive into what the lesson is and what you can take away from it and heal through to further improve how you show up in the world. Right. The next thing that's been really supporting me is EFT tapping. Have any of you heard of EFT tapping? Yeah. Yes, Rachel. Yes. So I've been tapping. I took a break from tapping. I was tapping like a year ago, like every day for the longest time. I took a break. I was like, oh, I'm Gucci, whatever. I'm good now. And I was like, I'm feeling called to go back to tapping. So I've been tapping every morning on various different topics, on whatever feeling is alive for me, right? Right now, it's a lot of deep, deep work. And that's okay. That's what's meant to come up right now. And I'm trusting my process. And I think one thing that I've had people share with me and I've experienced myself is the feelings will come up and they'll be like, "Oh, no, I don't wanna deal with that right now. No, I've already worked through that." Like, we push them away and we're like, "Oh, why again? Like, I already have been here. I don't wanna revisit that." And we will, like, shut the doors and not do the work, but it's coming up because there is a piece of you that needs to work through that still. And the more we neglect it, the worse it gets. So, yes, it's uncomfortable, but know that the tools that you have. Oh my gosh, really, Rachel? That alignment is so on point. Yes. Yes, clearly, the universe wants you to tap. And so tapping is really powerful, and I tap every morning on various different things. It only takes, like, 5 to 10, 15 minutes, and it really is powerful for my emotional state. The next thing I do is movement. Movement is one of the best ways to move emotions, to release trapped emotions, to heal through emotions. And as you know, your girl, I'm a big mover, I'm a big shaker. I love to move and dance. And so using movement in whatever way works for you. I use dance actually to release the emotion. So I'm feeling a certain emotion and I'll ask myself, like, okay, where do I feel this in my body? And if this was emotion, if it was a movement, how would that move? And I just let my body do whatever it feels like doing and I release it. Sometimes it's like random moves. Sometimes it's like, it looks like whatever it is because I let my body release it. Right. And then I do that process. I play a certain song and maybe I'll be crying. Maybe I'll be like laughing. Maybe I'll be sobbing. I just express, not just through movement, but also express through my voice, through vocalizing, through emotions, whatever needs to come up. I really let that through the movement. I shake it off. I re anchor myself. And I often like try to shift my energy depending on where I'm at using a different type of mood. So I'll work through my emotions, the sadness, the grief, whatever. Then I will anchor in like a mantra or have a more higher vibrational feeling. So I'll move through a second song and I'll really tap into my body like I'm worthy, I'm enough, things like that. These are things that I'm going to be teaching about. I'm actually going to be incorporating more into the membership is like how I move and use dance to heal through emotions. I think it's a really powerful tool. I don't see many people talk that much about, so I'm going to be doing more of that work as well. In addition to journaling, tapping, moving, and dancing, I find it really supportive to work through like talking to myself about these issues or talking to someone else. Now, of course, if you have someone to talk to, that's like a really safe space for you. You feel grounded with, amazing. I'm actually looking into hiring healer slash therapist slash intuitive coach. I'm talking to her right now, but have someone or yourself, if you feel safe with yourself and you can kind of counteract your thoughts. I do this, like I'm in the shower this morning, right? And I'm like, expressing my frustration for how I'm feeling, which is totally natural. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm so annoyed. I have to heal through this shit. Like, wow, damn. Like, I'm in the shower. I'm like, oh, dude, like, it's sharing. Right. And I was like, oh, has anyone ever like had a like temper tantrum in the shower or like not in the shower? Anyway, I just feel like because I wasn't, when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to have temper tantrums. So now I'm like, if I'm in the shower, I'm just like, oh, blah, blah, like letting it out. And I'm like, okay, Pearl, like it's enough. Like talking to my little child, I'm like, you know what? This is happening for you. You're going to be able to do this. And one thing is a mantra that I'm now really anchoring into my life. I'm going to share on my stories later, but it's like, I will do it. Like, I will do it. I will do the healing work. I will do the mindset work. I will show up for myself. I will do whatever that it is for you. Like, I will do it. I will face my fears. I will work on my money mindset. Like, I will do it, not just for me, though, but like for the collective, for my clients, for myself, for my children, for my past, for the future self. Like, I will do it. And so something I'm really anchoring in is like, I will do it. And it's a privilege to do it. Because what I realized is we have the tools to support us through these healing and deep transformational work. A lot of times, the people in my past, my mom, my ancestors, my grandmas, they didn't have the tools. They didn't even know what any of this was. And so Yes, it can be frustrating, it can feel like a lot, but also it's a privilege to be in a space where I have the tools, I have the work, I have the coaches, I have the internet, I have EFT tapping, I have like my own intuition, I have all these things that I can use to propel me to do the healing work, not just for me, but for my family, for you, for all these people. And so it's like a deeper meaning that I can now apply to the work I'm doing. Because sometimes it's easy to be like, "Oh, I don't wanna feel the feels," or I don't wanna even if it's like, I don't wanna show up on Instagram, I don't wanna sell my offer, I don't wanna go to the gym, I don't wanna eat healthy, whatever your "I don't want to" is, whatever you have resistance to, I'm now being like, "No, I will do it." For myself, but also for the collective, as I really shifted within me. So in the shower this morning, I'm like, I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. I have like the best pep talks in the shower. If you haven't tried pep talks in the shower, I highly recommend. So I'm like, I will do it. Yeah. And so I just want to wrap. This is a short one. If you have any questions, you can let me know. But I want to encourage you and maybe drop in the chat what are things that you know you're holding back that you need to do? And what are things that you will do, right? Like, what are you going to do to help you elevate to your next level? For me, that's doing my taxes. I've been neglecting my taxes for like a year. I'm like, okay, Pearl, I will do it. For me, it's having a tough conversation with my dad. I'm going to call him today. I will do it. So, what are things that you're going to do? Maybe it's today, maybe it's this week, maybe it's this month that you know are gonna, yes, be uncomfortable, but also help you work through the things that you need to for the collective, for yourself, for your dreams, for your future, right? And a lot of times I don't want to face these things, but it is when you face them is when you grow. And so that's I'm going to encourage you all to do something super uncomfortable, do the things, do the work. And I know we're all here because we want to improve ourselves, right? We want to thrive, you wanna feel better, you wanna reach your next level potential, you wanna live out your dreams, right? And that is the process of getting there. And I think a lot of people don't talk about enough the feelings, the emotions, the work we get to do. You're welcome. It is so important. And so using the tools we have, and there's so many other tools I didn't share, but I'm sure you have access to it if you don't ask me, but the internet is a beautiful resource. And it's not just about doing it once, it's about doing it over and over again. It's about tapping over and over again. It's about getting uncomfortable over and over again. Hi, Rosie. It's about, feeling the feels over and over again. And whatever that means for you, it's like, what are we going to do? So I'd love for you to drop in the chat what you're going to do, what your intention is, maybe today, maybe this week, something that you know you've been neglecting, maybe. And that is where I want to empower you that yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. But after you do the thing, and after you feel the feels, I want you to express that in whatever way you feel like you're expressing it. Maybe it's a celebratory, you're dancing, maybe you're sharing with a friend, maybe you come and message me in a Discord chat and say, I just did this. Maybe it's something else, but I want you to express it to celebrate yourself for doing the work, for healing your lineage, for working with elevating yourself, the collective, whatever it works, because it really deserves to be celebrated. Because I don't think people realize that this work is really causing ripple effects and things you won't even know are going to happen in the future, in 5 years, in 10 years, for your kids, for your kids' kids, right? And so it's to be celebrated. And it's so beautiful that we're here and we're doing it. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, I don't like crying all the time, but you know what? I will do it. That's my model. I will do it. And so, yeah, Marga, I love you have that list. Rachel, if you want to share, I love for you to share. And also, Rosie, we just talked about going through the motions, becoming your next level. If you want to watch the replay, I will be sending out by the email. But yeah, I think it's a really important conversation to have. A lot of us neglect our feelings. And this also ties into such a bigger mission for me because a big reason why when I think about my mission around partying and healthy partying and helping people thrive and feel less anxious and all the things, it's like a lot of people use partying and dancing as an escape, right? To escape their feelings, to escape their emotions. And I used to do the same. And so people will like use drinking or drugs or alcohol or sex or TV or binge eating or so whatever it is to escape their emotions because they don't want to feel uncomfortable. But if I can help people learn the tools and be okay with doing the things that are uncomfortable, with facing your feelings, with sitting with the grief, the shame, the sadness, whatever you're feeling, be able to sit with that and build your emotional capacity and create safety in your nervous system for these things, then the less you're going to need to escape your feelings because you know how to manage them. The less you're going to need to do those drugs or drink or do all the things that you do as a escape mechanism, right? And so I think it's so powerful. Like this tool will serve you so well. And you'll notice that when you are able to, you know, really sit with your feelings, you're not going to go to the things that you used to do that are your coping mechanisms, because you'll build healthier ways to cope with your emotions through these tools, through expressing, through dancing, through emotions, through, I mean, breath work's an amazing tool, somatic work. If you haven't done breath work, I highly recommend. I do a lot of breath work, you know, talking to people, tapping, somatics, all the things. Yes, Rachel. Move, yes, movement, processing, healing. I love that, Rachel. And how do you plan on doing that? Like, do you have you going to the gym? Are you doing at home workouts? Like, what's your way of moving and healing through these things? And so that's what I want to share. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you want to talk about anything else, drop it in the chat. But I think this is something that's so important. And I'll probably be revisiting this a lot, and I'm going to be diving really deep into all the tools I use and exactly how I use them for my own healing in the High Vibe Tribe. So if anyone's interested, I know Marga's in it. If anyone's interested in joining, let me know, because that's going to be a super transformational experience. And I'm super excited to help support the people that are in there to just, you know, work on their emotional intelligence and nervous system regulation and just emotional well-being. So if you have anything, drop in the chat. Otherwise, go take action. Go do those damn things. I'm going to do some really hard things today too. And I want you to come back in a Discord group. I want you to celebrate what you're doing, celebrate yourself and the work we're doing to just elevate not only the life of ourselves, but the life of others, right? And so that's all I have to say today. But if you have anything you want to drop in the chat, please do. Otherwise, you can hop off and go do the things. Know that I'm rooting for you. I'm so proud of you. And you have the tools. It's a privilege to do this work. And we are so supported. And I'm here to support you all as well. Amazing. If you want to drop in the chat, please do. Otherwise, hop off and I will see you all very soon. If you're not in Discord group yet, get your booty in there and come chat with me in Discord group. And I'll talk to you all so soon. Thanks for coming live. And Katie, you can catch the replay later. I'll be sending it out. Katie, Rosie. I always want to call you Rosie, but your name says Katie. All right. Thanks, Marga. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye. Rosie, nice to see you. I might see you Thursday. Get back to my message on Instagram. But thanks for hopping on, and hopefully you can catch the replay after this. All right. Bye.